Okay, try and keep an eye on that box to see if anybody else comes in. Welcome. Welcome to Saturday morning yoga. Okay. Got my bits and bobs handy. So I'll turn that off. Right. We're on to our second week of the yamas. And so last week we did ahimsa and doing no harm. And one of the fab things about the yamas is that, I mean, surprisingly, they're in the right order. You have to honor the previous yamas. So you want to do the one that we're on, but you can only do it if the previous one is also true. So this week we're on to Satya, which is traditionally or simply translated as truthfulness. But the idea that you can only tell, or you should only tell the truth when that truth does no harm. So we've got to keep ahimsa front and center. That's got to be honoured before we can move on to telling the truth and speaking the truth. And again, there's an interesting translation in the book that I was reading, Embodying the Yoga Sutras with Ranju and David Charlton. When established in truthfulness, words and actions are consistent. So if you are being really honest, and I think this one, that translation really brings it home to a helpful interpretation of it, which is around authenticity. If we are authentic, if we are true to ourselves, if we live our values, if we communicate what we know to be true, then our thoughts, our words, and our actions will naturally be aligned. There will be no, we're doing one thing, but we believe another, or we say something, but actually we do something else. If we are truthful and truly honest, then those three realms of our being will be perfectly aligned. And that, has to be a better way to live, doesn't it? One final quick thought on it before we really make a start is that I certainly grew up as a generation where a lot of emotions weren't allowed. If you children don't cry, just be happy. Let's just get over it, or have a sweetie, whatever. Don't feel your emotions. And now, as an adult, I actually really struggle to know what I feel sometimes. I really have to inquire, because I grew up in an environment where feeling emotions, anything that wasn't, happiness, calm, joy, there wasn't space for that. It wasn't really encouraged. And now, yeah, we do, and I think it's quite common. A lot of people really struggle to know what their feelings are in the present moment and on a given subject. So if we can begin to peel back those layers of allowing our emotions, recognizing and feeling them, then we can begin to know what our values are. That can guide our thoughts, our speech, and our actions. So yeah, taking a deeper dive and getting to know ourselves a bit better is critical to this one. Okay, that's enough of me waffling now. Let's check in with ourselves and make a start. So with those ideas in mind, authenticity and getting to know yourself a little bit better. Find a comfy seat, whatever that looks like, but allowing the spine to be long but comfortable, relaxing the face and the shoulders, drawing the awareness within, so either dropping the gaze to the floor or closing the eyes. And tuning into your body, the first truth that we seek. How is the body today? Really, honestly, where is it tense? Where is it relaxed? Where is it hot? Where is it cold? Let's find out. And then the energy. How's your energy right now in the present moment? And then the breath. Not changing it, but just observing it. The truth of the breath. Where do you feel it? And then the mind. This is a wonderful one, the Satya. When the thoughts come up, we can ask, is it true? Is that true, what I'm thinking? Quite often we can be self-critical or critical of others, but just bringing that question, is that thought true? Can be really helpful. emotions. And as I said a minute ago, this can be a tricky one. If we habitually don't allow or don't connect with emotions as they arise, just allowing a little space for a moment to see what's there. Not becoming over-identified with it. You aren't that emotion. It isn't all the totality of you. It's just something that you're experiencing at this present moment, and acknowledge it for what it is, the experience of it. And then we step into a timeless space beyond all of those layers that are rooted in time and change all the time. And we have our self that isn't changing. And that's the place that we want to set an intention from. So who do we want to be? Honestly, truthfully, what is our authentic nature? If we were to step into that best version of ourselves, what would it look like? Who would we be? Whatever words have come up for you, maybe it's an intention you've set many times before, or maybe it's new. But whatever it is, make it positive and present tense. I am, I have, I feel. Maybe it is, I know and speak my truth, would be an example aligned with the theme, but your words will be whatever your words are. State them silently to yourself 3 times now, but with real feeling, breathing them into you, landing them within you. And as you breathe out, imagine them filling you up. And maybe doing that twice more. Once you've done that 3 times, let them go, and then we will plug ourselves back into this wonderful, beautiful, amazing world. Feel yourself connected to the earth beneath you by the points of contact with the floor. Feel yourself connected by sharing this practice with the other people in the Zoom room, and connected with the other people in your life, in your day-to-day, the other beautiful people in this world. Feel connected. And from that point, we'll start our practice this morning. So if eyes are closed, maybe blinking them open a couple of times. And this morning, we're going to do a practice that we only did a couple of weeks ago, actually. It happened to fall with the themes of last term. Nadi Shodhana is alternate nostril breathing. And it's very much about balancing left to right, which I think has a, that balancing act, it's about honesty, isn't it? About truthfulness, about where is the line of balance. So I thought it was a nicely aligned breathing practice. Before we start, let's have a little shoulder circle, maybe adjust the seat. So if you're sitting cross-legged, maybe you want to change the cross of your legs, have a little fidget. You might even want to straighten the legs and rebend them if they're feeling a little bit squashed and tired already. But finding that comfy seat that we can maintain for a couple more minutes. If you want to change to sit in a chair or to sit with legs out in front, you can do that. And then have a little movement of shoulders, maybe a little gentle twist side to side, begin to free up the muscles of respiration. And then for Nadi Shodhana, we take the dominant hand, whichever it is for you, and we take the first finger and the middle finger and we tuck them towards the palm. And then we have the thumb and the ring finger and little finger. The thumb goes on its nostril, the nearest nostril, and the ring finger and little finger are for the opposite nostril. If tucking the fingers into the palm doesn't work for you, you can rest them on the forehead. And we'll have a little play with it to start with. So cover one nostril, breathe in and out through the other. Swap over, breathe in and out. You might notice you need to blow your nose, in which case maybe run and blow your nose. You can have the elbow free in space, or you can support it with the opposite hand. I like to support it with my knee, but only do that if you can still keep the weight quite evenly on both sitting bones and still sit up nice and tall. So you choose, you don't have to have the elbow supported. I just find my arm gets a bit tight. So you choose which works for you. We're going to start by breathing in through the right nostril, out through the left, in through the left nostril, and then out through the right. So you just swap sides backwards and forwards, and we'll do 12 breaths in total. But before we begin, we're just going to take 2 smooth breaths. So breathe all the way in through both nostrils. All the way out. All the way in again. All the way out. Then we're going to cover the left nostril and breathe in. Swap over, exhale. Inhale left. Swap, exhale right. Inhale right. Swap, exhale left. Inhale left. Swap, exhale right. Inhale. Swap, exhale. 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 Last one, inhale. Swap, breathe all the way out. All the way to nothing. Release the hands. And then just drop into stillness for a moment. Let the breath return to normal. Notice any effect from the practice. I observe a slight coolness in both nostrils where we've been channeling more air through each. It cools them, doesn't it? And I find it does cleanse. Anyway, that's my experience. Okay, now we're going to come to lie on our backs. So coming down, and yeah, if you have sciatic or low back problems, this might feel good for you. So taking the feet wide, so the outside edges of the feet are flush with the outside edges of the yoga mat. Hands can be on your belly or on the floor. And we're going to start with a really small rock of the knees left to right. Very small, so we're not going all the way, we're just easing into it. And then keeping it really slow, do the knees come a little bit further over. And they rock. And then can you feel the sacrum massage into the mat beneath, the glutes and the lower back. Just rocking gently side to side. If it's painful, then don't go so far, make it smaller. Let's go one more time each way. And then next time your knees come over to the left, we'll pause with knees over to the left. If it's painful, you might want to get a cushion or something, possibly underneath the outside knee. But just not forcing the knees down, but thinking, bringing awareness into the hips, bringing awareness into the lower back. Yeah, good proppage. Taking the feet wide enough apart that the knee's not falling onto the other lower leg. The feet are quite wide. And then just taking a couple of deep breaths. So breathing in, we notice we can create space in the torso and spread that space down into the lower back. Breathing out, can we lengthen the muscles of the hips of the lower back? Can we just bring a bit more softness and ease? Gently and slowly lifting the knees back up to center and then very gently lowering them down the other way. Keeping both shoulder blades down on the mat, and again noticing if it's pulling, if it's painful, put something underneath the knee, whichever knee feels like it needs support. And if it feels like both do, then put something under both knees. And then again, use the in-breath to create space and see if you can spread that space down into the lower torso. And the exhale, can it soften and lengthen the muscles of the front of the hips, the lower back. Gently bringing knees back up to center. Walking them back in so that the feet are parallel, hip distance apart. Let's take the right knee in towards us and hold it in towards us. You can hold behind the thigh, behind the knee, or round in front of the knee. And we're just going to give that knee a little bit of a rock left to right. Checking in with the jaw and the shoulders. The jaw tense or the shoulders creeping up. Can we relax a bit more? You can stay there, or if it would feel good, you can slide the left heel along the floor away from you, so straightening the left leg, keeping the right knee in towards you. And you can stay there, or if it would feel good, you can show the sole of the right foot to the ceiling. So it's half happy baby. And you might take hold behind the knee, behind the thigh, or possibly around the calf, or maybe around the ankle. But we're not forcing anything. It's a gentle stretch at this stage. And again, do we want to rock that foot left to right? So maybe slightly engaging the left leg where it's out down along the floor. And just rocking the right leg left to right. And then drawing it back in. And then taking the sole of that right foot to the floor and hugging the left knee in. Give the left knee a rock from left to right. Again, checking in with the jaw, the shoulders, the places where the gripping can creep in. Can we relax and soften? And stay there, or if it would feel nice, slide the right heel away along the floor so the right leg is straight. And hug that left knee in a little bit more. No forcing, just encouraging the left knee in towards you a bit. And you can stay there, or if it would feel nice, maybe take hold behind the thigh or round the calf. Show the sole of the left foot to the ceiling. And again, give that left foot a wave from left to right if that feels nice. Or maybe you want to stay in stillness. Whichever feels better for you. And then drawing that heel down towards your bottom and drawing both knees into the chest now. And then again, rocking left to right. And taking the knees, so feet are down by your bottom, knees are bent. But take the knees a little bit away from you. So if hands are on knees, straighten the arms a bit. And rock left to right there. And notice how you can feel the lower sacrum down towards its tailbone massaged into the mat. Have a rock there. And then draw the knees in towards you halfway and rock left to right. And you should feel the middle sacrum between the hips, rocking left to right, massage into the mat. And then hug the knees in really tightly so they're coming right in towards the chest as close as they will. And then rock left to right, and you might feel more of the lower back, the kidneys, the adrenals massaged into the floor. And then we're going to take the hands back onto the knees and we're going to circle the knees around. And there are different ways that you can do this, and none is right or wrong. Just find one that works for you. Some people like to circle the knees independently from each other. Some people like to circle the knees together. Whichever feels good, intuitive, right for you today. Circling around, and again, then noticing how that feels in the sacrum, in the lower back, the points of contact with the floor. Whichever way you're circling, change direction, going round the other way. And then bringing the soles of the feet to the floor. I was going to save this one for a few weeks' time, but as we've got a little bit of a sciatica theme going on this morning, we're going to do something called the Feldenkrais clock. So imagining your pelvis like a clock face, and we're going to press the lower back down into the floor. So draw your belly button into the spine. That's 12 o'clock. And then imagine that your left hip is 3 o'clock. So we're going to press the left hip down slightly. So we're just rolling around the sacrum, and then the tailbone is 6 o'clock. Press the tailbone down, round to 9 o'clock. The right hip presses down, back up to 12 o'clock. Let's go one more time, really slowly around that way. Next time you come up to 12 o'clock, pause there, and we're going to reverse the clock. So we're going to go back round to 9 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 12 o'clock. One more time, nice and slowly. Next time you come to the top, pausing there. And then let's hug the right knee again in one more time. But this time, draw the knee in towards the center of the chest. Straighten the left leg again. Hold the right knee in towards the center of the chest, and we're going to take hold of the right heel or the right ankle if you can't reach the right heel. But we're not going to pull the toes towards you. You're going to take hold of the heel and draw the heel over to the left. So the right knee is drawn in towards the center of the chest, right, the center of the breastbone. And then we're gently going to draw the right heel across to the left. So we're externally rotating that right hip bone. And that can really help to just open up the SI joint a little bit. Take a deep breath in, a long breath out. Gently releasing that foot, sole of the foot to the floor. Hug the left knee in. And same again on this side. You can keep the sole of the right foot on the floor, or you might want to slide it away along the floor. Draw the left knee in towards the center of the chest. Take hold of the left heel. And keeping the left knee in, drawn in as far as it will come towards the center. Then draw the left heel across to the right. So you should feel an external rotation of the hip. Deep breath in. Long breath out. And then gently releasing that foot, taking the soles of both feet to the floor. We're going to come over onto all fours. So you might want to roll over onto your side, or you might like to cross your ankles, rock up to sitting, bring your feet through and come through onto all fours that way. So whichever works better for you, we'll all meet here. We're going to do barrel rolls. I'm a bit bored of cat-cows. We do them every class, don't we? So I thought we'd do something a bit different. Similar to cat-cows, but we're going to allow the middle, the center of the body, where the sort of bra strap or heart rate monitor would be, that's going to circle around. So you can start by dropping it down towards the floor, let the back arch slightly, and then circling the middle of the body maybe over to the left, and then up towards the ceiling, and then over to the right, and then back down again. So the thigh bones and the arms aren't really moving, the hips and the shoulders are staying static, but what's in between them is circling around like a washing machine drum, if you like, a tumble dryer, only not that fast. So nice and slowly, just circling around. One more time. Going that way, and then next time you come through the top, pause at the top and go back round the other way. Once more, nice and slowly. Elbows don't have to be locked straight. They might have a tiny little bend in, just easing, making it comfortable. And go around one more time. And then coming back to neutral. So making sure that it's a nice square all fours that you're on. And we're going to take the right arm straight out in front. So noticing what you need to do with the shoulders to stabilize that. And then we're going to bring that palm back down to the mat. We're going to take the left arm straight out in front. Again, stabilizing shoulders, tummy, core. Left hand back down. We're going to take the right leg straight back behind, up to roughly hip height. Stabilizing core, shoulders, hips. Right knee down, left knee up. Left knee up to about shoulder height, hip height. Left knee down. And then you have the option to stay with that, doing one arm, one leg, one arm, one leg. Or you can do both at the same time. We'll do opposites. So right arm, left leg, reaching long. And then floating them down. And then left arm, right leg. Floating down. Maybe breathing in as we reach long, breathing out as they come back down again. A couple more times each side, noting that you're not arching the back. When you lift that leg, the temptation can be to lift it really high. Keep the tummy engaged so that, the belly button's not drawn all the way in. You're able to breathe, but we're supporting the spine so that it's not overarching. I'm going to do one more each side, nice and slowly and with control. Breathing in, reaching long. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Right. And let's set bottoms back onto heels and circle the wrists around. Around, around, around. Around the other way. And then we're going to take hold of the fingers and just draw the fingers palm away from you. Draw the fingers back towards you. No overstretching. Just a gentle, a mild stretch. Deep breath in. Long breath out. And then reverse it, so fingertips down towards the floor. And just pulling on the back of the hand slightly so that we feel a stretch in the top of the wrist. And then swapping over, other hand, palm away, fingertips drawn back towards you. Deep breath in, long breath out. Fingertips down towards the floor, drawing the back of the hand in, stretch the back of the wrist. Going to do a bit on all fours and on hands today, so we're just giving wrists fair warning, giving them a bit of a warm up. Then give them a flick out. If you've got no wrist problems, give them a nice flick. If they're a bit weak, then be gentle, be gentle. And if you need to, come out and do a bit of wrist stretching, wrist flicking, wrist shaking at any time, then do that, honour that need. We're going to come back to all fours again, keeping the shoulders square to the floor. We're going to take the left arm straight out in front, and then we're going to sweep it up towards the ceiling. Now, because of the acromion process, it doesn't form a perfect circle. It will go out to the side a little bit, but we're going to breathe in, sweep it up and back, keeping shoulders square to the floor. One more time. And then palm back on the floor. Same on the right side, right arm straight out in front, shoulders stay square to the floor. Fingertips sweep up towards the ceiling, back towards your toes, and all the way back round. Breathing in, sweeping up. Breathing out, coming down. Twice more. Last one. Palm back onto the mat, and we're going to take the left toes back behind us, coming up onto the toes, and the left leg is straight, right knee is on the floor. We're going to press gently back into that left heel. So feeling a stretch into the Achilles, the calf, maybe behind the knee. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Left knee down, right knee up, toes. Pressing that right heel away, deep breath in. Long breath out. Drop that knee down. Let's give the hands a bit of a flick out. I'm going to take my cardi off, otherwise I'm going to be swamped. And we're going to come into downward dog. So finding your downward dog this morning, a great one for exploring truth, isn't it, downward dog? What's the truth of it? Because we can force our heels down towards the floor. We can do all kinds of things, but what is the truth of what we need? What is the truth of what is helpful? Let's start there with gentle knees, soft knees, chest gently pressing towards thighs. We meet ourselves in poses like this, the true version of ourselves. Press the floor away with the palms. Maybe a bit of movement, maybe a little bit of wagging your tail side to side. And then we're going to tuck the chin in towards the chest, and we're going to float forwards into a plank position, a high press up position. We're going to inhale, press up and back into downward dog. I'm going to take that a couple more times. Exhaling, chin to chest, floating forwards into plank. And then pressing up and back into downward dog. Chin to chest, floating forwards. Inhale, pressing up and back. Last one. And then coming back to downward dog, and we're going to walk the feet in towards the hands. until the hands and feet are immediately below us. And then we're going to walk the hands slowly up the legs, bringing ourselves up to standing. And we're going to do a very gentle sort of walking sun salutation. Before we do that, let's find our standing mountain pose. So really connect to the earth, shift your weight around a little bit, taking it easy if you've got lower back pain, so taking it very, very gently. Settling yourself, softening the knees, breathing in, fingertips reach for the ceiling. Breathing out, you might just bring the hands straight down towards the floor rather than sweeping them out to the side. Really slowly and gently coming down into a forward fold. Hands find the floor, and then we're going to walk our feet back rather than stepping all the way back. We're going to walk feet back to downward dog. Tuck chin to chest, float forwards into plank again. Drop the knees down, untuck the toes, come down to lie on your front. Roll your shoulder blades down your back, engage your glutes, point your toes, shoulders down away from your ears, elbows tucked into your sides, and just maybe lifting your forehead, not very far the first time, away from the mat. Very baby cobra, newborn cobra. Forehead down to the mat, press into your hands, coming up through all fours, tucking the toes, gently and slowly pressing up and back into downward dog. And then slowly walking the feet in towards the hands and bringing the hands up to hips and slowly coming all the way up to standing. So that's our gentle sun salutation. We'll take it twice more, maybe exploring that cobra, maybe making it slightly deeper if that feels okay for you today. Soften the knees, breathing in, reaching up. Exhaling, diving all the way down. Breathing in, walking back to downward dog. Breathing out, tuck the chin, float forward to plank, tuck knees, untuck toes, float down onto your forehead. Roll shoulder blades down the back, breathing into cobra. Breathing out, forehead down. Breathing in, downward dog. Breathing out, walking feet in. Breathing in, coming all the way slowly up to stand. Breathing out, bringing hands into prayer. Let's go one more time. Breathing in, reaching up. Breathing out, diving down. Breathing in, walking back. Breathing out, floating forwards and coming all the way down onto your front. Breathing into cobra. Breathing out, forehead down. Breathing in, downward dog. Breathing out, walking feet in. Breathing in all the way up. Breathing out, hands into prayer. Right, I'm going to come to stand in the middle of my mat, and we're going to do a chair pose. So this is our sort of strengthening, a bit of a challenge for you, if you like. We're going to bring, you can do it with feet together, or you can do it with heels under hips, your choice, but middle toes are parallel, feet are slightly apart. Let's start with hands on hips, and we're going to bend the knees, bend the ankles, and bend the hips, and we're going to keep a nice neutral curve in the spine, so the tail's not tucked, and it's not lifted. The spine is comfortable, but the gaze is to the horizon. So we're not tipping forwards and down, we're opening to the front. If you want to work a little bit harder, you can sit a little bit deeper. If you want to work a little bit less hard, you can straighten the legs a bit more. It's a great pose for, static pose for building strength in the thighs. You can feel those muscles working, the blood flow increasing to them. You can keep hands on hips, or you can bring hands into prayer. Maybe one more breath there, deep breath in, long breath out. We're going to bring the weight into the left foot. We're going to begin to straighten the left leg, and we're going to draw the right knee up. So you might touch the toes on the right foot down, or you might lift the right knee. The left leg has probably got a little bend at the knee. The toes are spread, and we're grounding down into that left foot. You can have hands on hips, you can have hands in prayer, or you can reach the hands wide and high. But we're aiming for a balance. So you might have that right knee lifted, or you might be lifting and lowering the toe, whichever works better for you, wherever you're at today. But find somewhere that you can challenge yourself a little bit. I'm going to hold for one more breath. Come out if you need to, or the option if you want more challenge is to take the arms wide like an aeroplane, so palms are down, and begin to straighten that front leg. Some people prefer to flex the foot, some people like to point the toe. I think I prefer to point the toe. The leg doesn't need to be completely straight, and the standing leg will still have a little bend in it. Can we take one long breath there? Gently bending the knee, coming down with control. Give that hip a bit of a massage. Show it some love. The one that's been lifted. Shake your tail feather. Give it all a flick and shake out. Feel silly. We're going to do the same on the other side. So we're going to come to chair pose on this side. Right, heels under hips or feet pressing together, make those decisions. Do we want hands on hips or hands into prayer? How deep do we want to sit? How high up do we want to be? If it's painful on sciatic joint, yeah, legs together might be better, might feel more supported and grounded. Whatever feels better for you, but get that comfortable position for the spine, a neutral curve, but the gaze is forward. And then meet yourself here. If they're gripping in the jaw and in the shoulders, can we soften? Can we bring ease into the challenge? Can we smooth out the breath? Challenge for one more long breath if you can. And we'll shift the weight into the right foot. Begin to straighten the right leg, making the left leg light. You might bring hands onto hips if they're not there already. You might bring left toe out in front. You might raise left knee. Spreading the toes on the right foot. You might reach wide and high with the fingers. You pick a point to gaze at. I've got a plain white wall in front of me, which makes it tricky. There's nothing to fix my gaze on. Find something to look at. And then check in. Notice the little wobbles. Notice where you're gripping. Can you smooth out the breath? Option to come down if you need to, or we're going to take that aeroplane with the arms, so the hands come out wide, palm down. Challenge to straighten that lifted leg as much as possible. Maybe point the toes or flex the foot. The standing leg got that little bend in it. And we hold for one more long breath. And then relax down. Shake out, shake your shoulders, shake your hips. There's that hip on a bit of a rub. Can you get right in there with fingertips? Feel those muscles that have been working. And then we're gonna, let's do a forward fold with feet under, heels under hips. This is a good one. Let's do a slight variation for sciatica. Some people find this helpful. So heels slightly wider, toes slightly pointing in. Soften the knees ever so slightly. And then slide the hands down the legs. And come all the way down into a forward fold as far as feels good for you. You can let the head hang. You might move the weight backwards and forwards slightly, possibly left to right slightly. If it doesn't feel right, if you don't like it, then by all means bring the feet parallel. If you have had previous cardiac events, so stroke or heart attack or unmanaged high blood pressure, then just hold for 1 or 2 breaths and then gently bring yourself back up to standing and take a moment in mountain pose. And if you're quite comfortable in a forward fold, maybe release the head, let the head hang, nod the head side to side, back to front. Release head, neck. Can you use the breath in the lower back to create more space? Can the in-breath create more lift? And in this pose, if you've got heels slightly wider, can the in-breath create more space between the sitting bones? More space in that sacral area. One more big breath if you're comfortable in your forward fold. And then gently and slowly walking the hands up the legs, bringing yourself ever so slowly up to standing. We're going to do a little pair of yin poses before we come to relaxation. So you might want socks on for this bit. We won't be doing anything where you need grippy. And you might want bolster, blankets, cushions, something handy. A bolster is lovely. I've got here. Right. So if you've got a bolster or a nice big sofa cushion or something similar that you can use, then have that handy. We're going to use that in a minute. But before we do that, we're going to do banana asana, which is a horrible name for a lovely pose. So coming to lie on your back. Start knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Lift the hips, shift them a couple of inches over to the right and set them gently down. And then straighten the legs and take the feet a couple of inches over to the left. Take hold of the right wrist with the left hand and take the backs of the hands to the floor above the head. And then slide the wrists over to the left. So the feet and the hands are to the left, the hips are to the right. And then have a good fidget. We're going to hold for a few breaths. So you're lying on your back, both the whole of the sacrum is down on the floor. We're just bending, curving, if you like. You can cross one ankle over the other and have a little play, see which feels better. But we're thinking about length from right little finger to right little toe, all the way down the right hand side. So the legs are straight along the floor, backs of the knees, yeah, perfect. And then feet are over to the left. So hands and feet to the left, hips are to the right, creating space all the way down the right hand side. And then using the breath to explore the sensations in the pose. Couple more mindful, long, slow breaths. And gently sliding hands back to the center line, feet back to the center line, soles of the feet to the floor, lifting the hips and sliding them back past center and a couple of inches over to the left, placing them gently down, straightening the legs, and then walking the heels a couple of inches to the right, swapping the hands over so the right hand grabs the left wrist, and then we slide the hands over to the right. So hands and feet are to the right, hips are to the left. Both shoulder blades are down on the mat, both sides of the pelvis and the hips are down on the mat. You might cross one ankle over the other, have a little play with that, see which you prefer. And then fidget. We want to feel relatively comfortable so that we can relax. Sounds counterintuitive. But muscles lengthen more easily when they are relaxed. So trying to use that lengthening exhale to relax the body, let all of the muscles, ligaments, tendons, fascia, all the viscera of the body just become long and comfortable. One more very long mindful breath. Gently sliding hands back to center, feet back to center, hips back to center. Bring your hands down by the side of your body. You might want to, we've been doing a bit with hands and wrists today. Maybe give the hands a bit of a flick out again. Give them a good waggle around, and then grab your bolster or a couple of sofa cushions or a pillow or whatever, rolled up blanket, whatever you've got to hand. Let's put it on the right hand side to begin with. And we're going to straighten the right leg. We're going to take the left arm out to the left. We're going to hug the left knee in towards us again, one last time. And then we're going to take the right hand onto the left knee. We're going to draw the left knee across the body to the right. So you want as much of the lower leg from knee to foot to toes supported on whatever it is you're using to support it. And if your knee or foot doesn't reach whatever it is that you've got to support you, then go and grab some other stuff. Like we need to run to another room, grab another pillow, another bolster, whatever it is. And you might want to take, so you've got left knee across the body to the right. So the hips are twisting to the right. Both shoulder blades are down on the mat. You might want to take the middle finger on the right hand, tuck it into the crease behind the left knee. Then the weight of the right arm and the right hand can keep that knee pulled over. And then do you want to turn your head to look away from your legs? So maybe the gaze goes towards the left thumbnail. If the neck doesn't like that, then have the gaze wherever it needs to be for the neck to be comfortable. And we'll just take a few nice, long, slow breaths there. One more big breath there. And then gently rolling back onto your back. Swapping your supports over onto the left-hand side, straightening the left leg, hugging the right knee in, right arm out to the right, left hand on right knee, left hand draws right knee across the body to find that support again. Right shoulder blade down, maybe the middle finger on the left hand, but in the crease of the right knee behind the knee to hold that knee over. Having a little fidget, getting the weight distributed properly, getting yourself comfortable enough that you can linger here for a few breaths. So we want to turn the head to find that right thumbnail, or does the neck want to be somewhere else? Maybe one or two more expansive breaths there. And then when you're ready, releasing, rolling back onto your back, hugging knees, giving them a rock side to side. Maybe if it would feel nice, drawing nose up towards knees and giving yourself a great big squeeze and being really, really small. And then we're going to spread ourselves out and come to Shavasana for relaxation, whatever that's going to look like for you today. So do you want socks on, jumpers on, blankets on, eye coverings on? Do you want to move those? You might want something under your head, but not too much. Don't want chin up towards chest. A blanket is lovely because then you can tuck it, have it really tucked in around your neck, your head, top of your head. Get yourself all cushioned up. If you can have something over your eyes, you can get a great big, if you've got a duvet, get a duvet. Why not? Something under your knees, maybe that cushion that you had to the side before, you might want under your knees now. That can be lovely, just to release that, give a bit more release to the lower back. settling yourself. Let's get comfy. Maybe your arms are slightly away from the body, hands palm up, natural curl in the fingers. You're in a bright room, maybe there's something to cover your eyes lightly. And let's take 3 deep breaths to begin with. Breathing all the way in through the nose. Breathing all the way out through the mouth. 2 more of those. All the way in. And all the way out. Make the last one as big as it can be. Sip in a bit more air. Maybe an audible sigh as you let everything go. Follow that breath out to nothing. And then let the breath return to normal. Call to mind the intention that you set at the beginning of the session, whatever it was, just contemplate that for a moment. Who do you want to be? How will you feel when you are that person? And then let that intention go. And we drift the awareness through the body, just becoming aware of what is. So the truth of the sensations of the body as it is in the present moment. Normally when we do a body scan, we have the intention of softening and relaxing, but today we're just going to observe. You might find that relaxation and ease follows in the wake of that observation, that awareness. So just allowing whatever happens to unfold, finding the truth of the present moment, meeting the self, where we find it. Starting at the top of the head, feeling the sensations of the scalp, being present, and then drifting the awareness down to the forehead, the brow. Maybe observing a warmth or tingling caused by circulation. And then drifting awareness to the eyes and the eyelids. Even if eyes are closed, maybe there is a play of light on the optic nerves. Some experience of vision even through closed or covered eyes. And then drifting awareness down to the nose and the sensation of the breath as it comes and goes. And then the cheeks. Sensations of the skin of the cheeks. And then the ears. Sensations of the skin of the ears, inside the ears, behind the ears. The experience of sound, my words hitting your eardrums. Welcoming and allowing all that is to be as it is. Down to the lips and the tongue and the sensations in the mouth. The taste on the tongue. Maybe noticing if there's a little gap between the back teeth. Sensations of the jaw, the whole of the face and the head. And the neck and the throat. And down into the shoulders, feeling the shoulders resting on the mat. The skin, fabric on the skin. Down through the arms, into the hands, the backs of the hands, the palms of the hands and the fingers. Becoming aware of the many sensations of the hands. And again, allowing it all to be just as it is. The chest, and the belly, upper back and lower back. Feeling the weight of the torso on the floor. Feeling the flow of the organs within, down to the hips. Bringing a curious awareness into the big muscles around the hip joints, around the pelvis. Really becoming intensely aware of all of the sensations of the pelvis resting on the floor. Down to the big muscles of the upper legs, feeling maybe the fabric on the skin. Down through the knees, the kneecaps, the spaces behind the knees, the shins and the calves, the ankles and the feet, the toes and the tips of the toes. Feeling all of the body. Feeling the body supported by the surface beneath. Feeling it held by the fabric of the clothes. Feeling yourself supported by the room around you. And allowing everything to be just as it is for the next few moments. Make your next breath just a fraction deeper, and I will read a short poem. Rest in the inflow and the outflow. Rest in the certainty that love lies just below the surface, pouring in from the unseen. Rest in your own essence, which is that same love expressed in stillness and in action. Gather all your wide-ranging thoughts and focus on the love at your core. The door that swings open when you choose to breathe and be will never again close completely. There is always a way back to love's embrace. That's Breathe and Be by Dana Fold. And now, the deepening breath brings a little movement into your fingers and toes. And if it would feel nice, you can pick your arms up overhead and have a whole body stretch. And likewise, if it would feel good, maybe hug your knees into your chest and give them a squeeze. And then take a pause for gratitude. Just give a moment of thanks to yourself for making time to practice today. A moment of thanks to the other lovely ladies who have joined us here this morning to share the practice. And a moment of thanks for our place in the great picture that is yoga teachings. And then when you are ready, bring yourself up to sitting. And Let's take one last big breath together, breathing in, sweeping hands wide, palms come together overhead. Exhale, bring your thumbs to your heart. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide you on. Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me. Hope you enjoyed that practice. If you're watching the recording, you have any questions, by all means drop me a message. I'd love to hear. I'm going to stop the recording now.